Hi everyone. So this video I'm going to get nitty gritty about chaos. We're going to get down to real life examples. Now, some of you have seen the original email I put out on making the most out of chaos. And in the very early stages of that email, I'll even show you if you want to pause the screen when you're looking at this. For chaos to bring out the best in you, you need to embrace these 7 qualities. And then I did a video where I discussed each of those in detail, and one that was a little more practical. And now I'm going to get really practical. And I'm going to use real life examples rather than talk at you. And what I want you to do with this is to reflect on examples that are similar or very different, but they really connect with this in your life. And that's going to be the crucial element that'll make this make sense to you. So, the first one's the magic in mystery. Well, right at the moment, we're about to create a whole project outside a town called Lomsak in Phetchabun province in Thailand. And I've been all year, and even in a year or two before that, working on it, putting money into it, but it was like, and then I had my seizures, then I came to Australia, then I got stuck here because of the COVID lockdowns. 13 months I haven't been back in Thailand, right? And it's a mystery how we're going to pull it all together. Not just financially, but the whole project, which is going to be, it started off as helping the family and is now becoming a humanitarian project on a global scale. And this is part of the magic, because we keep going, how's this going to work out? And wonder as well, but it's a mystery. And, people had all great ideas, and we launched some big ones this year, and they basically didn't work out the way I thought they would. The biggest one turned into something I never even imagined. It just morphed, and that was being incredible because we were trying to put it together the right way. The mystery was there, and then things happened. People pulled out, this happened, that happened, and the magic, things changed very suddenly, as I said in the previous video. And now the program's running like a charm and starting to generate its own, you might say, magic. Businesses that we're putting together, not out of planning, but people are coming together and going, what you're doing, what I'm doing, this can click, we can take it to a whole new level. And when that happens, it happens quickly, suddenly, because there's room for mystery. I've got a course outlined, but it's always leading up to the night before, how's it going to work, how's it going to work? I work in the moment anyway, so it's not like 50% of the people who have to really consider it for a few days or so. But for me, I can just respond and put it together. And there's magic, there's beauty, which is one of the other things. There's a lot of wonder in there, which is releasing a lot of creativity. So, yeah, that's the practical thing most people would tell you on a video about their program. Let's get even more nitty-gritty. Today, I did some work on the project I was just talking about, and then I had a couple of hours free. So I just went, okay, nothing else is going on, let's go down the beach and have a swim. The swell's really down. The place that's easiest to get to is, it's only 20 minutes or so from here, but it's a wide open ocean beach, and when there's any swell at all, it gets rough. And again, even on the turnings of the tide, it's very rare to see it even remotely like calm. There are other beaches further away that are pristine, beautiful, get really calm, but this is wild open. It's, for those of you who know the Surfers Paradise area on the Gold Coast, it's main beach, and Surfers Paradise is very similar. It's just wide open to the ocean. And I spent a lot of time years ago living in a place called Burleigh Heads, which has perfect waves. And there's other places south of there that have waves that are known around the world, let alone around Australia. And when they peel, they're beautiful. It's immaculate, and you can plan what you're doing. And you can, unless there's a big cyclone, and even then, they can handle it to quite a big size. But you get a cyclone at Main Beach, and you've got to be a block or so away to make sure that you're really safe from the swell that comes in. It'll definitely wash up on the road nearby. So I go down to Main Beach, and the winds come up. It was later in the day. The winds come up. The swell's really choppy. It's coming sort of side angle onshore. There's sandbanks uneven all around the place, so there's sort of rips pulling this way, that way, waves breaking on the thing. It was chaos. And I went, well, this is the time I had free, and I'd been there a couple of days ago, and it was similarly chaotic, only bigger. And I just jumped in, and it was messy. The sand was up there, there was seaweed floating around. Who knows if it came out of the river up the road, and the waves were just all over the place. And I just stopped for a moment and looked at it and said, I've been writing about this, I've been doing videos about this. This is the real deal. This is chaos. And I'm in the middle of it, and you can't control it. And it's a mystery, and it's, you wonder which place should you go. Is there if I swim out another 10 metres, will there be actually a bank there, or is the rip pulling? And it's just, you're trying to figure it out and you can't. You've got to just deal with what is happening. And the more I let go into it, the more I just started to surrender to it, the more I became aware rather than plotting how I'm going to get a wave and get to the right point and then body surf it into the beach and, have it all figured out the way I've always done it all my life. Since I was a 5-year-old. So, we're talking 68 years, 67 years. I've been swimming in the ocean and I got it all figured out, and it was all over the place. Now, I know how to handle the ocean, which is, I'm not like a Chinese tourist who comes for the first time and gets swept out. But it's still chaotic. It's just all over the place. And the more I just practice those things that we talked about, it became not only amazing, things that I never would have even imagined happened that were like amazing. And at one point I'm just finally got it together, and then this huge, compared to the other waves, this very big set came in of waves, a set of them, 3 or 4 of them, and they were pounding on the bank, and I was in just the right place to get pounded. Right, no, not far enough that I could get over them, not in far enough to get away from it, but I was right in the right place at the right time. So I had to just dive deep, and I got thrashed a bit, not seriously, but it was like free exercise. It was fun. There was so much, and I came out and I said, well, that was different. That was unusual. After those 3 or 4 waves came through, it was like that was worth coming down here just for that experience. Could I define what that experience was? Not really. It was, I've described it a little bit, but it was just unprecedented in my experience, and the awareness to pick it up at that time. And so I was coming back home and I was thinking about it, and I went, you know what, I should do a video and encourage people to seek chaos. not to seek asteroids hitting the Earth in the end of the dinosaurs, or go into a riot where people are burning things down and doing crazy stuff, or, take 10 times more of a drug than you've ever taken, or, or get drunk out of your head, or I'm not talking about that sort of chaos. Look for chaos that just shakes you up, that just gets you, because that's what it'll do. If you step outside the comfort zone, not in a way that's insane and incredibly dangerous, but you step outside and you then it wakes you up to start looking at things differently. It forces your mind to drop all the precedents and open up and be innocent. There's a lot of beauty in it. I mean, when particularly one of those waves in the set came in, it was like somebody had sculptured that just for me. I remember that split second, and I'll probably never forget it for the rest of my life. It was like one of those Japanese paintings of a wave. And because I knew what I was doing, there was hope. And by going, oh, well, here I am, it's like, deal with it, forgiveness, I was able to do the right thing in the right place at the right time. And you'll see that. You can find it, you don't have to live near the ocean, you can find it in a snowstorm, you can find it in a relationship issue, you can find it in your finances, in finding the right person to work with you in your business. You can find it definitely in meditation. I mean, this thing's, when you really start going into meditation, this thing gets very chaotic, because it tries to figure out what you're looking for and then do it for you, and it can't. You can look at politics with new eyes. You can look at astrology, numerology, human design with fresh eyes, far more creative, innocent eyes. You can start to see the magic in it, not just the logic. Human design is filled with magic. Numerology, astrology, science, the Enneagram, metaphysics, all of them are very structured in their nature. Nature itself is probably the best combination of chaos and order that's ever been created. We certainly haven't matched it yet. We're getting to a point where we may be able to harmonise and add value to what nature already does. And that's leaking out in all sorts of interesting ways, from architecture to farming. But it's there, these things that I talked about, just to look back at them again, just to remind you. Wherever it's mysterious, wherever you can't figure it out, there's magic there. Use your imagination to sense the beauty and let beauty stimulate your imagination. When you've got that wonder, which links up with innocence in some ways, it unleashes creativity, hope. Making sense out of life gives you hope. Hope allows you to make sense, even in the surf, when you're swimming, when you're doing the simplest practical things. Try it on the toilet. It's just really stretch the envelope. Joy and compassion, giving birth. That's an incredible experience of, boy, you really see the passion and compassion at birth, and yet the incredible joy that comes with birth, and with having compassion on such a vulnerable creature as a 2-month-old or a 1-month-old baby, or even a 6-month or 8 months old. And forgiveness, it's so much more than going to confession as we used to do when I was a kid. It's about making sure the past and even the future serve you in the present, rather than you're trapped in regrets of the past or trying to force a future to happen, rather than allow the future to inspire you and open you up to the best possibilities, and then help give you the energy to generate that future. Look at the future as something you're having an incredible relationship with, something that you can make great by bringing the greatness of who you are to the table. So find and you share with, right below, I'm just starting now, a few people, one lady wrote to me and said, I'm into human design, have you ever used the birth number for the design date, the date that you get in human design, that is when the structure of your body comes together in the womb, which is 88 days before you were born, minus a little bit, but 87, 88 days. And I said, yes, I have. I even wrote a book on it 16 years ago. Not on the human design aspect, but a book on numerology where you not only use the numbers in the birth date, but the numbers that aren't in the birth date. And you look at one of them as what you do, and the other one as how you attract the support you need to do what you're going to do. And you put them together, and then you subtract them to get the differences and add them up to get the outcome, the synergy that comes from it. And that one comment from her, who was just going, gee, have you ever thought of doing that? And I said, oh, absolutely, I'd love to do it, and subscribe, and, I'll show you more about it. And that inspired me, which I've been brewing on in the, take everything I know about sciences, research, even alchemy. I've worked both in research laboratories, in chemistry laboratories, and worked with one of the greatest alchemists in the world before he passed away. So I've got both sides there. And then, the deep inner heart stuff that there is no description for it, just poetry about it. Rumi and the Gospels and the great writings of the great teachers and the great sayings of the great teachers. And then there's metaphysics and scientific physics. There's chemistry and alchemy. There's astrology and numerology, maths, physics. There's the Enneagram, which I won't even go into, but it's far greater than the way it's portrayed at the moment. It's a map of the power of feminine energy, the source of all power. Human design, which is the best incredible operating system. It's the best description of how each unique individual operates as a unique individual in the practical world, how they make great decisions, what gifts they bring to the table, how they can receive the support they need to bring those gifts to true fruition, how they get conditioned, how to turn that into the greatest asset. And I've been looking at, 35 years I've been working on all of those in different stages, and they all weave in together. And that's something I really, there's this chaos, and I've got all these things, and you bring them together initially, and it's chaotic. Because you have to put everything in the correct context before order starts to emerge. Otherwise it is chaotic, like the way a lot of people talk about both science and business and metaphysics these days, as though they know everything. And there's so many coaches and so much chaos out there. Who can you trust? What are you going to do? Well, I'm not saying run away from it. I'm saying walk in there with your eyes wide open and wonder and imagine and look at the mystery and see which things get you to the right place at the right time for you. Which things really talk to your business. You're not getting just a pure education in the technicalities of business. You need to be able to see what the whole purpose of business is, what the whole purpose of your sport is. What is the archetypal energy that really triggers something in people? And then not manipulate it to get sales, because if it's real, it will get sales. But to respect the power and the energy in that, so that you respect your sport, you respect business, and you make sure it's not only profitable, but everyone involved and everyone who's served profits. And that's what, so politics and relationships, all of these things, our civilization, the way our cultures interweave, all of this in the chaos, we're at the initial stage where it's chaotic. And there's still a lot of old stuff to forgive, to reimagine, to find the mystery. Why did we even do that for a few thousand years? What were we looking for as human beings? If you're going to forgive yourself, at least understand why you did it, so you can let it go. And to see the role of hope, not false hope, not airy-fairy hope, but real hope. And all those qualities, the role of beauty, wonder and creativity. Now, there's just so much there. And this is why I'm talking about it again and again and again, because we're smack in the middle of it, like I was today for half an hour out in the ocean there. Right in the middle of the chaos. And it brings you alive. Once you stop complaining about the fact it's all murky and sandy and seaweed and it's all over the place and I can't do what I normally do, and normally I body surf, I used to surf, but now I body surf, and it's just, I can't do that. So what can you do with this? And you can open up, you can imagine, you can wonder, you can find those magic moments, even in chaos. And from that come out revitalised, refreshed, re-energised, bringing an extraordinary hope and joy and beauty and compassion to the table. And that is something worth bringing to the table, and bring it in your own unique form, because only you can do those things: joy, compassion, beauty, magic. Only you can do it the way you can do it. And when you do it your own unique way, you become a gem, not a rock. Rocks are great, but polish it, bring out the very best in it. Bring out that sparkle, that joy, that beauty. Find the facets of life that just capture your magnificence just right. And you don't have to fit into a particular health concept to do that. You don't have to be a particular height, weight, skin colour, way of thinking, language, culture, religion. Every one of them offers something magnificent. Every one of them's got things to let go of so they can be here now, because this is the right place at the right time if you're interested in change and making real change that benefits everybody, including you, fast. Never been a better time ever. So, again, subscribe below. I keep saying that, and I don't know whether people are just waiting to check me out longer or whatever, but go for it, because I'm going for it. I'm giving it 100%. This isn't planned. I've got people working with me who are saying, go do your thing. And they've got plans for it, but I'm sacral, as they say in human design. I respond in the moment. And the more I give myself the freedom to be myself, the more the real gifts that I have to offer will come forth. But my focus is to help you do that for you. At 72, what do you got to prove? I've got people to love. I've got options to love, communities to build, inspiration to share. But, it's it's way past pandering to your ego. You know, somebody once said to me, it's better to give than receive. And I said, yeah, it's better to give than receive, and in order to give, you must know how to receive. But it's true. Once you get to a point where life has given you so much, you live to give. The very best of who you are. And that's why there's so much chaos. Because life is begging you to bring that to the table, whether you're 10 years old or 100. That's the opportunity now. Wonder how that can happen for you. Find if that's complete mystery to you. I mean, what do I have to offer? Start looking for the magic that only you do. Maybe the first clues are in the tragic, not the magic. But they'll give you the clues, but it's not about tragedy, it's about magic. It's magic, not tragic. So, okay, I've said enough, and I hope you enjoy that and look forward to working with you. By the way, there's contact details below if any of you want to work with me personally, in either one-on-one or in programs or in supporting the project we're developing in Thailand. Let me know. I'm picky, so should you be. And make sure it is correct for you. Otherwise, go somewhere where it is correct for you. Somewhere where you can thrive and flourish and feel good about yourself, even in the midst of having to fix up so many things. You know, when you forgive yourself, the right things come at the right time. If you don't, you're struggling all the time to lose weight, to build strength, to be correct, to do the right form of business presentation. But when you're accepting of yourself, forgiving and celebrating who you are and what you've done, life comes looking for you. Talk to you later.